Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is going to be an NBA playoff video. Just want to get something in here to talk about what has transpired during the playoffs so far. Yeah, I mean, there's just a couple things I want to talk about first. I was very disappointed with the Miami-Boston series. Very disappointed that Miami couldn't get a lot of production out of Michael Beasley and Jermaine O'Neal. Jermaine O'Neal absolutely gave them nothing. But give Dwayne Wade credit. He played just as good as he could have played. He played amazing. And without that, he is worth the money. Just very, very disappointed that he couldn't get any help. What did you think about that series? Yeah.
Fucking Miami. I tell you, Dwayne Wade, Charles Barkley said it best. Dwayne Wade's Michael Jackson, the rest of them are T.O. Jacksons. I mean, seriously, the guy played great. I love Dwayne Wade. He's one of my favorite players. He's one of my favorite players to watch. He's entertaining. His style of play, the way he cuts in some of his shots, great. But he had no help. I think in Game 4, he put on his Superman cape. He did everything he could, and he got them one W. But that was it. That's all Miami was going to be able to do against
Right.
Boston.
And Boston's been playing great this postseason. Well, especially in the first round. I thought Paul Pierce played really good.
Yeah.
He's not playing that great right now, but Rondo's been spectacular this whole postseason.
Yeah.
Garnett's been kind of mediocre. Ray Allen, I thought he played pretty good in that series. So yeah, but Boston's been kind of surprising. They're playing a little bit better than I expected.
They have a lot of talent, and they have a lot of weapons.
And the Orlando Magic, without a doubt, I think Orlando's going to the finals without a doubt. I mean, I think they're just too strong. They're very well coached, and then I think Vince Carter, I think he's playing pretty good. For the first, like I said, for the first time, Vince actually has a coach that's pushing him in the right direction, and Jameer Nelson has been very, very surprisingly great this postseason. He's been playing a lot better than I thought he would, and they're probably going to sweep Atlanta tonight, and yeah, I just think they're going to the finals. What do you think about Orlando so far?
I think when you say Orlando's going to go to the finals, I think you shake things up a little bit because everybody's expecting to see LeBron James go to the finals. They were expecting it last year, it didn't happen, and they're expecting it this year. And you know what? They're having trouble with the Celtics right now, and Orlando is about to have tonight possibly their second sweep of the postseason. It might disappoint a lot of people because you might not get your LeBron and Kobe matchup. We might never see it. It's kind of a
Well, instead we'll get Vince versus Kobe.
Vince versus Kobe, and he's excited about that. I don't really care. No, I think it would be a good matchup.
I think the problem with Cleveland is, and I still believe this, I think they're a great defensive team, but offensively, besides LeBron James, they don't really have that go-to guy. LeBron doesn't really have that Scottie Pippen type of guy that he can rely on. You have Antoine Jameson, who is he's good, but he's just, I would not say he's very, very reliable. I mean, he's kind of hit or miss. You never know what you're going to get from him. And plus, this is his first year with the Cavaliers, and he's still trying to get acclimated to the offense and everything like that. So, I'm not going to say that he's going to be the missing piece to the puzzle. You can't really say that. And I think Mo Williams is very overrated. I just can't see him as being like a clear-cut second option. He's very undersized for his position, and he's good. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't think they're overall as talented as Orlando, and I think Orlando's a little bit better coached. And if LeBron's not on, then I think Orlando would definitely take that series if Cleveland does advance. And if Boston advances, if they somehow get by Cleveland, which I don't think they will, but it could happen. I think Orlando would easily beat the Boston Celtics in about 5 or 6 games. So, all right. So let's talk.
I just want to comment on something you said there. You said it makes a lot of sense. Every year you said if LeBron is not on, that's the problem with their team. If he's not on, they don't have a number 2. They don't have a Pau Gasol or a Lamar Odom, somebody who could step up and do some work for them. They don't have that like the Lakers do. That's the problem the Cleveland Cavaliers have had for the past, I don't know how many seasons now, is LeBron being a number 1 surrounded by maybe 1 or 2 number 3s and then a bunch of 4s and 5s. They still don't have a number 2, and that's why it's unfortunate because they have this great record. They dominate. But like you said, if LeBron isn't on the top, and I mean the top of his game,
Right.
they will. I don't think they'll make the NBA Finals.
And I'll give Shaq credit. I think Shaq has been playing pretty good, but I don't think a lot of people have confidence in him. I don't think LeBron is that confident in him, and I don't think his coaches. And that's why he's not playing down the stretch of those games. All right, so let's talk about the Western Conference. I mean, we've had. It's been pretty. they've been killing them. I mean,
Yeah.
it's 3-0.
Yeah.
The Lakers are
Lakers and
beating
Jazz.
the Jazz 3-0. I think the problem with the Jazz is they just don't have a lot of length. They're just not that big. It's the same thing every year with the Jazz. Like maybe they'll win one game against the Lakers, but Utah and LA just hasn't been a very enticing series.
They're-
The Utah definitely needs to go after someone else
to have
they need someone else. I mean, just
traditionally, it's funny because traditionally they had Karl Malone and John Stockton. They didn't have like a superstar back then either. Karl Malone's a great player. Stockton was a
no,
great
they were
player.
both superstars.
But yeah, they were superstars at the time, but they didn't have, like a Jordan-esque player that could get them over the top. They didn't have it. Who did they couldn't be Michael Jordan. Nobody could. And in this era, they have the same kind of team. It's like they don't really have, that guy. I don't think. Darren Williams is great. He's one of the best point guards in the league. Boozer is like today's Karl Malone. But they have a well-coached team, a great coach. They're a bunch of workhorses, but they're not once again they're the fifth seed going up against a very strong, very good offensive Laker team, and they're already down 3 games. I think they can win tonight. In fact, I think they have a good chance.
Well, we shouldn't even waste time talking about that series because it's pretty much over.
Okay, so Phoenix and LA.
So Phoenix pretty easily beat San Antonio. They swept them. It was very, very fun to watch. Considering how San Antonio has pretty much dominated Phoenix over the last couple of years, it was great. I thought Nash played amazing. They got Dragic played amazing in Game 3. I mean, he had like 22 points in the fourth quarter. Stoudemire and Nash worked pick and roll extraordinary. Jason Richardson's been shooting amazing in this postseason. So Phoenix is good, but at the same time, it's like it's kind of like a fantasy if they would beat the Lakers. I mean, I just can't see it happening. I would like to see, even though I'm a Laker fan, like I'd be very happy for Steve Nash and the Phoenix Suns if they can get by the Lakers. But considering they have Bynum, Gasol, and Odom, they're just too big and too athletic for the Phoenix Suns.
It'd have to be a dog fight. A dog fight. I mean, it would have to be. I think I would pick Lakers in 6, but if Phoenix wins, it's going to be 7 games. It's going to be a 7-game series, and I think they can. I think they could pull it off. I don't think anybody expected Phoenix to destroy the Spurs.
Well, they're much better defensively now. They're much better defensive team.
And the Spurs aren't the same team.
For whatever reason, the Spurs just didn't get the help that they got against when they played Dallas. When they played Dallas, they had guys like George Hill and other guys stepping up and making big shots. But here, Richard Jefferson, like I predicted, Richard Jefferson was going to hurt them. He did not make big shots. He missed a lot of open shots, and Parker just wasn't the same. Ginobili played great. Duncan slowing down, but that's pretty much it for the Spurs. One thing I wanted to say, I think it's funny because I think the Lakers, their toughest opponent in this playoffs is probably Oklahoma City. Now it seems like every series is going to get easier for them. I mean, they might possibly just sweep the Suns. It could very easily happen.
And Magic Johnson said it best. He said that sometimes a series that one team will make you play better. He said Oklahoma City was good for the Lakers because all those games were pretty, close, and they forced the Lakers to get on top in the game. It took them to 6 games. So now the Lakers are more focused and more, they're more into it. If the Lakers had swept Oklahoma City, they probably wouldn't be sweeping the Jazz. And that's the point that Magic Johnson makes. And I think that's a pretty good point. I think you have to lose. Sometimes you have to lose in the playoffs before you can start realizing, holy crap, we got to get our game. We got to get our game together. And that's what's happening with the Lakers right now. And they're at the top of the game.
All right, so obviously we'll probably see the Lakers in the finals against either Boston, Orlando, or Cleveland. Most likely probably Cleveland or Orlando. But we'll see what happens.
But don't count out the Atlanta Hawks.
The Atlanta Hawks have been extremely disappointing. They barely got by Milwaukee, and let's face it, Milwaukee was not that good. I mean, they were pretty much a 2-man team. And, unless they're running, they're not a good team. They're not very good in the half-court set. They got guys that are very, very inconsistent. So I think Orlando, that series is pretty much over. So, that's pretty much it. And hope you enjoyed the video. And all right.